Hey, I'm Dr. Westmoreland with myfederaldoctor.com, and you're here because you clicked on an About page, and quite frankly, I hate About Us pages. It's usually long, it's boring. I read everything I don't want to know. Like, just bullet point something for me, and we'll probably throw some bullet points in here. But here's a video that isn't so painful for me to write, and hopefully isn't so painful for you to read, and you get a little bit of information. So I'm basically your sports guy that ended up going into federal injuries, right? I was a scholar athlete growing up, played football, soccer, wrestling, track, baseball. There's a bunch of them. Baseball, football, wrestling, soccer, and track. Yeah, I think that's it. Although I ended up in my 20s being an acrobat in the Cirque and doing a North American tour from there. Got offered to go international, but wanted to get back into school and continue on to grad school. So that's what I ended up doing. But most of my career, like I said, I've been the sports guy. I was the sports physical guy. I go to the schools, see 300 kids doing sports physicals with a couple other doctors, sit on the sidelines for the emergency on-field assessment with the EMTs and worked with them and other orthopedics and athletic trainers and stuff like that. Helped out with the athletic trainers in Orlando for the Orlando Predators in the Arena Football League. And then I've traveled around the States practicing, running other clinics, and as I did that, I became the Assistant Medical Director for the United States Golf Association in 2010 for the World Amateur Championship at Chambers Bay. And I was the medical director, the ringside medical director for UC Muay Thai fights out there in Washington State. I also practiced in Australia. So I was the medical director for the University of Queensland Rugby League out there. I was also the medical director for the Queensland Brigade, which is in the Legends Football League, which is a female gridiron football league. Here we call it the Lingerie Football League because they don't wear a lot of clothes and they wear just as little pads, and they knock the hell out of each other. And I've seen some of the best athletes I've ever seen there. This quarterback had 3 broken ribs, still throwing 50-yard passes, and unfortunately they smoked us. But there's a lot of appreciation there. There's incredible athletes, and what they pushed through was pretty awesome, actually. But anyway, kind of lost my train of thought with things that I've done. But there's my bullet point experience off the cuff there. I didn't really write anything down officially for this video, so this is more of you getting to see who I am and my personality and see if I'm worth someone you want to come see or not. Because look, if personalities don't match, then they don't match, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's other people out there that you can go see. Not a lot. It's kind of why I do this. It's really hard to find somebody that specializes in federal work comp, especially on the case management side of things, which is what we're doing primarily now, even though I still work in the treatment side of things and the medical rationale side of things and the impairment rating, schedule awards, and whatnot. I address DOL letters and what is needed for that patient's case, and we do that very successfully. But like I said, there's other people out there if I don't seem like the fit. Probably the largest one is actually, I guess you call it a group. It's really a couple marketers that go out and talk other people into doing this, and then they kind of wing it and hopefully it works out. Really, there's not really a lot of training or anything, and that's probably who ended up introducing the people that I ultimately started working with in this field, which was basically the pandemic hit. I was already looking at some very specific rationale for doing something different in a different area that I was in. That was those were more or less personal, slightly professional, more personal things on where do I want to really be. And here are 2 people that owned a clinic. One's physician, one's non-physician, and they were getting into this federal work comp space. I didn't know that existed, honestly. I knew state, but I didn't realize federal and state were 2 totally different animals, and they are. And you don't want to go to a state person and try to do federal. because one, they're not credentialed, they won't be able to do it, and two, they just don't know what to do, and you really, really, really need someone that knows what to do. So anyway, the physician found themselves out of their league pretty quickly as far as the rehab, because you go into intense rehab, a lot of different injuries. Most docs out there in general practice don't deal with those injuries, and here I've dealt with them on sidelines with fractures and stuff like that. So they brought me in to take care of that, which I did, and then to grow it, because I didn't want to come unless we were growing. And so I grew them to 4 clinics, and in the end they disbanded from themselves with their own issues, and I saved as much as I could, and then I exited, because ultimately, I mean, look, I don't work well for other people. I mean, I do a good job for them, I just don't enjoy being, you know, not the leader. I guess I just see a lot of things that could be done, should be done, aren't being done. So basically, when I left and did my own thing, I just did everything I was trying to get them to do anyway, and just couldn't get done. So grew very quickly and ended up in a space where I could think, okay, now it's not survival, it's what impact do I want to have. And ultimately that's, you know, a personality trait of mine. Right? I'm okay with making money. I want everybody to make money and be able to take care of their families, and I have a huge responsibility to do that with mine. But I don't do things solely based on money, I do things based on impact. And what I've learned working in the space is people need somebody to lead and make an impact, because it's not easy what people go through on a daily basis when they're injured as a federal worker. So I became a federal work comp specialist, and ultimately wanted to make sure I increased access to care and breadth of care. So I learned very quickly, once I said that out loud, that I couldn't just do treatment only, because it wasn't going to be long, and I'm tapped out and telling people I'm full, I can't see anyone else. So that kind of goes against that mission that I have. So I started my federal doctor, and now I'm going to be over a total of 4 clinics in the Tampa Bay area, from Land O'Lakes down to Brandon and places in between, covering offshoots from I-4, I-75, Veterans Expressway, so they're easier to get to, and having a couple there on the inner parts of the Tampa area, so that you have accessibility there too. And eventually probably open up and affiliate with 4 other clinics in Orlando. So got a good team that I work with. You know, I work with chiropractors and PTs and PTAs and medical doctors for interventional pain and regenerative medicine and mental health. That's huge. I'm so glad to have the person I have with me that leads up the mental health cases, because that's a game changer. Something necessary, but it's just really tough to find. So anyway, that's a little bit about me, and this is my federal doctor. So if there's anything that we can do for you, hopefully you got a little bit about my personality, and if you want to come see me, if you do, hit us up and let's chat for a little bit. It's free of charge to you. We'll see if it's something that we can be able to do for you, whether you have a new case or an existing case looking to make a change to a different person or clinic or whatnot. I can help you do that too. So all right, take care of yourself. Bye.